Let's watch this video. Pretty sure this is the Attack on Titan ending. Uh, Most critical reacted to it, or he made a video about it. Let's see what he says. I love the ending. A lot of people hated the ending on Twitter when it came out. When the manga chapter came out, well, the anime actually Mappa did the right thing. They changed a couple of lines with Armin and Eren, some other characters, and it was actually a fucking 10 out of 10 in my opinion.
After 10 years, it's finally concluded. The Attack on Titan series finale just aired last night. And as I've mentioned in the past, this
Let me
is one of
see.
the only shows I've ever watched week by week as it aired during its seasons. It started when I was a young virgin male in college going through my own mysterious anime character phase where I have no doubt I frightened all of my peers into thinking I was some unhinged psychopath. And now, a decade later, I've shed that skin. I'm no longer a young virgin male. I'm an elder sexual deity. Man, what a journey it's been. You're not going to believe me, but I was actually able to avoid all of the spoilers for this ending, which is
Wow.
no easy task. That's
Yep,
like trying
it's
to
not
dodge
easy.
the rain during a thunderstorm. But I
Like I
did it, and I
tried to
deserve
dodge
to
a
be
bullet.
knighted for that achievement. There were so many people that were trying to spoil this for everybody. Just a lot of people shaking their fist, bah humbug. I didn't like the manga ending, so now I want to make sure everyone who only watches the anime is ruined for it. And douchey, of course, but not unexpected. It happens all the time. I did not know the ending, luckily.
Good.
All I knew is that there were a ton of people that
Hate.
were extremely dissatisfied with the way that it
Yeah.
wrapped up in the manga. And that, of course, made me very worried about how the anime would stick the landing or if it would just fumble.
It's crazy the amount of people right now on Twitter saying, "Is this really the like episode or the ending that people hated back in the day when the manga chapter came out?" Like, what? People are actually surprised. Like, is this what they hated? What the manga readers hated? What? This is amazing. I saw a lot of those comments on Twitter. It's actually funny.
And flop like a lot of other anime endings. But I'm happy to say that this was a beautifully fitting ending. I don't think it was perfect. There are still a few criticisms I have
Yeah,
of it, but
of
overall, I
course.
think it is an incredibly strong finish to what I believe is a masterpiece of a show. Not just a masterpiece of anime, a masterpiece of a show in general. I really hold this series in high regard, and I am so satisfied with the way that it completes itself here. And it makes me wonder what the fuck went wrong in the manga. Like, was the community just smoking on stupid juice or something on that Scooby Doo dick Kush? Like, I don't.
No, it was like I said. Some panelists, I'm pretty sure with when Armin was sucking with Eren, um, he says some dumb shit that it didn't make sense. They changed that to what we saw in the anime with the little like see thing. I don't know the name when Eren had like hair and teeth in his hand. That part when they talk, it was changed. The manga was horrible. That part it was really bad. The anime changed that, Mappa changed that, so it did it. It made it better, and maybe other parts too, but I don't remember.
Understand exactly what they didn't like about the ending because I went back and checked. Apparently, the ending in the manga is pretty similar to the ending in the anime that just
Yeah,
aired. Only the anime had a couple of tweaks, a couple of additions, and a few minor adjustments, but nothing major. The story beats are still, for the most part, the same from what I can tell. So why were people pissing and shitting over the manga ending? It's a good, satisfying conclusion. The only theory I can formulate up here in my smooth little brain is that people just wanted a 100% happy ending where everyone wins, it's all sunshine and rainbows, and the world is perfect. And that would never be the case in a series like this. If they did go that direction with a happy ending, it would ruin Attack on Titan. It would run counter to everything that this series has propped up and framed. And I am so glad they didn't take that easy cop out method because they did have a chance. With the way, I don't want to get into spoilers here, but they did have the opportunity to just pull their punch and say, "Hey, actually, everyone's okay, everything's great, happy ending, wee, woohoo." And I'm so glad they didn't do that. Like, this is not a story that deserved a happy ending. This is one that
No.
needed a grim but hopeful ending. Something the show has driven home time and time again. That no matter what you do, there will always be conflict, but there can also always be hope. And I love the way that they finish on that note. You can boil it down even simpler into basically war never changes. Humans are just predisposed to it. No matter how large the conflict is, no matter how great the resolution is, or how long the period of peace is, it's only a matter of time until the cycle starts over again, which is what the post credits scene alludes to in the finale as well. I just think it is a beautiful, beautiful piece. I think it is an extraordinary work. Now, I do want to talk about it, but I don't want to give too many spoilers, but there's no way I can talk about it without at least slapping my feet around in the spoiler pool. I can't tiptoe around a lot of the things I want to talk about, so this is your spoiler warning here. Uh, Proceed with caution, bitch. So, anyway, everything this show has done up till this point, I think, has been executed perfectly. The slow transition of Eren from the hero everyone roots for with a very simple shonen goal of I want to kill every titan so the world is safe, and to take an idea that simple of I want to kill every titan so the world and my friends are safe, and to morph it into what he's become here with basically a genocidal maniac is so incredibly risky, but done so well that I think it is probably the best example I've ever seen of a hero falling from grace. And the way the finale handles this character, Eren Yeager, it blew my mind. So, this entire last season, leading up to this as well, Eren has become kind of like this cold, calculating monster who's going to destroy the entire world so that way his friends are safe and the people he cares about are safe. He
Hmm.
deduces the only way to keep his people
With
alive
the
is by
rumbling,
killing everybody else, basically. So that
with the
way,
rumbling, yeah.
there's no one left, thus, there's no war, there's no one to attack them anymore. And at its core, that is the exact same idea he had when he was a child: kill all the
The
Titans.
Titans,
But
yeah.
over time, it changes into kill everyone because it's the only way to keep the people I care about safe. He is still a raging child, fundamentally, with the same goals. And in the finale, we finally get to see him, without the mask on. He no longer has that facade of being a stoic, uncaring menace. We get to see him break down, cry, and we get the whole kit and caboodle. When Armin talks to him, Eren reveals that he is still just a fucking idiot that found a lot of power. He even says that word. He says he is a garden variety idiot who fell into a lot of power. And the only answer he has to any of the problems in the world is rage. He says that he is a slave to freedom. He can't escape his very nature, which is just a dumb idiot whose only answer to anything is violence. He never changed. He has always been a kid, basically, who is having a temper tantrum, but he gets so much power that that temper tantrum changes the entire world. And I've seen a bit of criticism over that scene, like, why would Eren start crying? This goes so against this character. And it's like you're not even watching the
No.
show, or you're watching it with just your
What?
brain turned off and clapping at all the
Oh,
flashy animation. Like, this is very in line with his character from the very beginning. He is the only character in this show that just doesn't change at all. His number one priority in the world was the protection and safety of his friends, but he even admits in the finale that he got so lost and his brain so messed up from all of this power that he wasn't even sure if his
run.
friends were
He got messed up from seeing the everything, the past and the future and the present, all at the same time. Everything, seeing everything together, colliding in like at the same time, existing. That shit fucked him up.
going to survive, to which he had so much regret. But one thing that I found extremely interesting here, and I can't help but draw a mirror to my favorite anime. Well, what was my favorite anime? I think Attack on Titan is now going to be my favorite because I really do think they did nail the ending. Code Geass. Code Geass in
I need to watch that anime. A lot of people talk about is that where the MC is called like Luoka, Luoka, Luocha, something like that, Luocha.
this is big spoilers. Code Geass ends with our main character Lelouch being the
Oh,
ultimate villain, the biggest villain the world has ever seen, and he allows a symbol of hope to kill him. It was all part of his plan. Him and his best friend Suzaku, who is now wearing the original disguise of Zero, who becomes a symbol of hope, stabs Lelouch publicly in front of everyone, killing him, thus ending the evil, this cycle of hatred. Right then and there, hope prevails, and Zero is the hero, basically. In Attack on Titan, Eren had a similar motive that he unveils to Armin at the end. He wanted to be the ultimate evil, which he was. He destroyed 80% of humanity in the fucking rumbling, literally trampling them under his feet. And he wanted Armin and Mikasa, all of them, to kill him so that they would be the heroes. They would be the most important people in history because they stopped Eren Yeager, the ultimate destroyer. And I just thought that was so beautiful. And it, like again, it draws an obvious comparison to the way Code Geass ends, in my opinion. But I really think they fucking nailed that concept. And it's not like it came out of nowhere. That does feel like something Eren would want to do. And then when he gets all of this power, he mentions that his mind is scrambled. It's a mess because with the power he has, he sees the past and the future all
yep.
happening simultaneously, and it leads to him basically being this puppet master that makes sure that the future plays out the way that he's experiencing it in his head. And he says he's tried so many times to like change things, but it always plays out exactly the same. It's a really interesting explanation for how things work, but it does
Wait,
bring
he did explain that? I didn't know. Okay.
me to a criticism I have of it. The way they execute this exposition, I think, is way too jumpy. They jump all over the place abruptly. So it happens during a very climactic moment in the finale, and then it immediately starts jumping to start piecing together the puzzle of what the fuck is actually happening in terms of Aaron's motivation, in terms of Ymir, in terms of everything overarching in the world, how it all takes form and shape. And I don't really like how much it jumps around. I think there definitely could have been a smoother way of doing it, so that way it wouldn't be as convoluted. Of course, it was always going to be a little complicated because of just how big the story is with so many moving parts. But I think by having it jump from different time periods, like Armin and Eren as kids, and now all of a sudden here's like an alternate reality that could have happened with Mikasa and Eren, instead of just jumping all over the place, if they had just streamlined that a little bit more to feed you these explanations, I think it would have just gone over better and would have led to a little bit less confusion. But it's not the biggest deal in the world. It's actually very aesthetically pleasing and it's pretty beautiful, a lot of the places they revisit while doing this exposition. But I just think that it led to a little more confusion than it needed to. Now, while I do think it is a little hard to follow with all the jumpiness, what they actually deliver is extraordinary. So I mentioned that alternate timeline with Mikasa and Eren, and I think that is such an important thing that a lot of people are overlooking. So basically, what happened in one timeline, Mikasa confessed her love to Eren, and it causes him to abandon the rumbling, no longer going scorched earth, and instead the two run away to a cabin to spend the last 4 years of Eren's life together. And what this showcases is that, well, Eren obviously saw what has and will happen, but Mikasa confessing her love is enough to get him to not go through with it.
Yep.
But by not going through with it, it doesn't stop death, destruction, and ruin from happening. It still happens, but Eren's not the one doing it, it's Marley. The choice was basically Eren commit genocide and save the people that he cares about, or do nothing, go live with Mikasa in a cabin, and let Marley commit genocide, and now the people he cares about are the victims. And they prop up so many mirrors to previously very important moments in the show during these sequences, and it's so unbelievably fucking beautiful and well done. It really is.
I'm pretty sure that moment is from when Eren asked Mikasa what she feels for him, what are her feelings for him, and when she said family, that that is kind of like the main line. She didn't say she loves him. She said that they're their family, like brother and sister, so that made Eren go further, like keep doing what he saw, like the rumbling and all of that, and all of that. This alternative world or ending is Mikasa saying, "Yes, I love you," and Eren said, "Okay, let's get the fuck out of here." I'm pretty sure that is like the alternative moment. That is why we get like an exactly the same clip, the exact same clip of them of that moment, talking about the feelings that they have for each other.
But the important thing that this sequence highlights is that Mikasa not confessing her love to Eren is
Yeah.
what allows him to go
Yes.
through with the
Mm-hmm.
rumbling. But he only ever had
Exactly.
two choices, basically. Either he commits genocide or Marley. And the thing that basically decides that is whether or not Mikasa tells him that she loves him. So it just highlights the importance of her keeping her feelings to herself because then Eren goes through with this plan. I don't want to get hung up just breaking down each incredible.
And she would have been with Eren for the 4 years. He would have died. Armin would have died. Uh, Annie, Bert, no, Bertolt is the other guy. What is it? Wait, the color, the armor titan, brother. Are you kidding me? Reiner, Reiner. Oh my God, Reiner would have died. Um, Everyone would have died. All of the titans, Falco, all of them. So he technically saved everyone.
Scene here, but I'll go ahead and summarize. I think what Attack on Titan has done is something incredibly special that puts it up there with probably one of my favorite stories ever told in general. Again, this isn't just exclusive to anime, this is one of my favorite stories ever told. And the anime from start to finish, I think, encapsulates everything beautifully. Even if you just like action, Attack on Titan delivers in a big way. The finale has some of the best action sequences in the entire show. Uh,
Yeah,
in the
true,
finale, while they're fighting on the back of Eren, there's every other generation of Titan that's ever really existed, pretty much, getting thrown into the mix and fighting off our characters to protect them. It's really great fighting. It's beautifully animated. They didn't cut any corners. I love that. But it's more than just action. Attack on Titan just offers a really thought provoking piece in a very, very beautifully constructed world filled with interesting characters.
true.
I love what they've done with it. And also, the music to accompany everything from the very beginning of the show has been extraordinary, top notch. In the finale, it's the same. Great soundtrack. It's just such banger, boner jam after boner jam. I think Attack on Titan is probably my favorite anime now. It's able to dethrone Code Geass, which has been my favorite for a very long time, but I am comfortable in saying that now at the
I'm
very
gonna watch Code Geass. I heard a lot of people saying that it's really good, so I'm gonna watch it.
top for me is Attack on Titan. It's a show that means a lot to me. Again, this is one of the only shows I've ever watched like week by week as it's aired during its seasons, and now that it's concluded, it feels a little weird. Knowing that there's not going to be Attack on Titan, the final season, part 3.5, final chapters, part 1 of the final series, or whatever other wild naming scheme they would have come up with. It's it feels like a little upsetting. Have never really had that feeling of when you finish a really good series where you're like left a little upset about it. But now I get it. I get it. Like seeing that this is concluded now is bittersweet because I think it's a great, fitting, beautiful ending to an extraordinary show. But damn, I you just always want more, I guess. But yeah, overall, I think this is a must watch. I really do. I think even if you're not an anime fan, Attack on Titan is an absolute must watch series. It's
True.
so fucking good, and I'm extremely pleased with the ending. I don't know what all the hubbub was about with the manga ending. Maybe they really made some missteps somewhere in there, but whatever missteps there were in the
I'm pretty sure the mistakes were the dialogue. The dialogue was bad. Armin saying, "Thank you, Eren, for killing the whole world for us. Thank you." Some shit like that. What did he say? Genocide or something like that. Thank you, Eren. You're cool. Some dumb shit like that. Like, that's not him. That's not. That's not the character. That is why people got mad. And I guess the um when Eren, they said that Eren became like what is it called, like a pidgeot or something like that. People made joke of that too when Mikasa is in the tree and he takes this scarf.
Manga, they are not present in the anime. I can say that with confidence. So yeah. Anyway, that's really about it. So yeah.
Okay, I'm surprised he liked the ending. By the way, okay, actually, did enjoy that. Huh, cool. I also enjoyed that. I enjoyed the ending.